G'day everybody. Yes, I am filming this from my bed. It is really late at night. Hopefully you guys don't find this inappropriate or off-putting, but I am exhausted and running out of time. So I'm just making this when I can before bed. So if you know, you know, but if you don't know, my name is Morrigan. And a couple of weeks ago, I got a notice from my current real estate agency saying that the rental that I live in, the lease for it is not going to be renewed and I need to vacate. And normally that would be totally fine and manageable, but I live in Australia, in Queensland, and we are currently in the middle of a housing shortage. So that notice completely freaked me out and I got very stressed and upset. And a lot of you already know that because you've seen the video, but yeah, some of you guys have been commenting on it and some of you guys have been asking questions and asking for updates. I'm really sorry it's taken me a while to post the next video, but things have been really hectic. I'm happy to update you guys and answer your questions, and please accept my apology. So I'll stop rambling and start giving you information. You guys have been asking if I have managed to find somewhere to live, and the answer is yes. So I mentioned in my last video that I contacted my property manager to ask for some extra information about moving out and vacating, etc. And she said in the phone call that she liked me as a tenant and she had another property she could slot me into if I liked it. So I applied for it, the owner accepted my application, and I've gone and inspected it and it is totally fine. I'm happy to live there. So that's where I'm moving. In terms of the property, it is further out than I currently live, and I already live pretty far out. My commute to work is over an hour each way, but honestly, I don't even care. Like, the property is clean, it's tidy, it's in good condition. It looks to be in a fairly decent neighborhood, so I should be safe there as a single female. So I have applied and been accepted, and I signed the tenancy agreement. So I moved this Friday. Some people have been sharing their stories with me in the comments section, and some of the stories are really heartbreaking, and I wish that I could do something, and I wish I knew what to tell you to fix the situation. And some people have been saying that they're renters too, and they're really scared that this might happen to them. And so for those people, I can give you a little bit of advice for what it's worth. My property manager really helped me out. So if you get one of these notices, like, the best piece of information I can give you, or the best thing I can tell you to do, is to immediately contact your property manager and talk to them and see if they will give you a hand finding somewhere else, because it's the property managers that vet the applications and then pass them on to the owners. So if you have a connection, use it, because there's a lot of competition at the moment, and if you're a complete stranger, then you're just another person. But if you're a known entity, I think you stand a better chance. The next thing I want to talk about is there have been some comments on my videos. Some of them are positive and some of them are quite negative about money. So the nicer comments are people asking me if I'm going to set up a GoFundMe and if they can donate, and that's really lovely of you, but I just want to clarify that this was never about money. I get the confusion because I was so upset in that first video. I really wasn't communicating very clearly, and so the issue was never that the lease had been renewed, but the rent had been raised so much that I couldn't afford it. The issue was that the lease hadn't been renewed, and because there's more people than houses, I wasn't sure I could get a property. And so that's a different problem. So I appreciate your generosity. That's really kind. But I have a full-time job and I have a wage. I just wasn't confident that I would be able to successfully apply for an application and be chosen. And that was kind of one of the points that I was trying to make in that video, is that you can have a permanent full-time job and still wind up in a pretty bad situation because of the lack of housing that's currently existing in this country, which is a really big point to me. Like, I really did want to hit that because that's not something that has really, I don't think it has really been experienced here before, is being homeless and also being employed. That's new for us as Australians, but I think that is going to become more common, which is quite a horrible reality. So if you were asking if I was going to set up some kind of donation, no, I'm not. And if you want to help me out, just watch the videos. Like, I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys doing that. That's really cool. I am a very, very small channel, so if you want to help me out at all, just watch my videos and leave some comments and chat, etc. That's plenty. Okay, what else have people been wondering? I use the word house a lot. I used it in that first video, and I think I've already used it a couple of times in this video. I just mean that in terms of like a property, like a home, like an abode, whatever synonym you want to pick. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't live in a unit or apartment. I totally would. I do live pretty far out now, so there aren't a lot of units and apartments, like high density housing. It is all basically houses out here. And I initially moved out here because I got Harriet at the start of COVID, my little cat. And if you don't know, the tenancy laws in Australia are really quite strict, I think, compared to some other places at least. And one of the things that has only recently changed, it's a very new thing, but previously it was completely legal for owners to specify in the ads for their properties that they would not accept applications for people with pets. And so a lot of the properties that existed close to the city or like that were in a city, which was a lot of high density housing like units and apartments, those ads would always say no pets because they were competitive and a lot of people would apply. And so the owners had the option to specify that they would not accept people that had animals. That has recently changed, but yeah, so I moved fairly far away from the inner city sort of region because I would rather have Harriet than live alone pretty close to the city. So that was just a life decision I made. People have asked if I would move out to the country. Like I said, I already live pretty far out, and to be completely honest, I would love to live on a property out sort of rurally. I would love to have a hobby farm. That's kind of like my fantasy dream life, but currently my employment and therefore my wage is located pretty centrally, so I have to stay at least somewhat close to the city. So unless somehow YouTube takes off for me permanently in a big way, I don't see it being realistic for me to move out to the country anytime soon, although I would love that, in spite of the fact that I'm absolutely terrified of snakes. People have asked if I would move into a van or a caravan. I'm not opposed to that either. That sounds like that would open up a bunch of opportunities for travel. But I have Harriet, and at the moment, again, sort of my income is tied to the inner city, and I have to go into an office for work. And the idea of leaving Harriet locked up in a vehicle all day, I just don't think that would work. And also, I'm not prepared to surrender her. That's really not an option that's on the table for me. When I first got that notice, I secured somewhere safe for Harriet to live before I even started to think about what I was going to do. So I'm going to make sure that my cat is safe. I know some people won't understand that, but she is my pet. She is my little companion, and she's quite dependent on me, and I am going to make sure that she's as safe as I can make her. So yeah, I would absolutely live in a van or a caravan. I watch channels where people convert vehicles into spaces and then go traveling. But again, I don't know if I could make that happen myself. So people have also asked if I would move overseas. And again, the answer is yeah, absolutely I would. In fact, I'm starting to look into it now. I don't know if everybody in Australia feels this way. I'm sure some people are making a killing at the moment, but I feel like my quality of life is moving backwards, and I feel like it's moving backwards quite fast. And that's upsetting. And so I am wondering whether it's a smart decision to look into moving somewhere else. The countries that I'm looking at the moment are places like Scotland, Scandinavia, and in particular Finland, and also Austria is doing really well in terms of housing at the moment because they always kept up their social housing, all of the construction in that sector. So they are not experiencing a housing crisis at the moment. So I like these countries because they have good healthcare, good education, good hospitals, good social supports. They're safe, they have low crime, things like that. If you live in one of these countries, please, please, please leave a comment underneath this video and let me know what it's like to live there and whether things are as good as the internet says or not. But I am definitely considering moving overseas. Multiple people have asked me where my husband is, and I don't have one, obviously. That's not a political statement, that's just how my life has turned out. And to be honest with you, if I was married and we had gotten that notice, it just would have been 2 people who maybe would have wound up homeless. That's really not a solution or any kind of fail-safe. Yep, don't have a husband, and thankfully don't have kids, because honestly I have no idea how single parents with kids are doing it at the moment. Like, if you are making it work and you're a single parent, you're remarkable. I can't think of any more questions people have asked at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm really knackered. I have been going to work all day and then coming home and packing, so the house is just a shambles. But if I haven't answered something and you really want to know about it, just ask it again in the comments, and I will definitely answer whatever you want to know that is reasonable anyway. Yeah, the next video will probably be either me picking up the keys or me unpacking in the new place. I would try to make these as quickly as possible, but there's a lot going on at the moment. Also, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's left a really nice comment under my videos, that have said that you wish me well or you're praying for me or anything like that. That's really, really kind, and just thank you for doing that. I hope you're doing really well too, and you're safe and everything is okay. It's a really crappy time. Some people don't think so. They've left comments saying they don't think so, but I think it's a really crappy time right now, and so I hope everybody is safe. I will make another video again soon, and yeah, if I haven't answered something that you want to know about, just ask me again and I will answer it for you. Ciao for now. I will see you guys in a couple of days. Bye.